welcome to Development. This is my 241st weekly update. Let's see, I'm actually getting a little bit of a head start on it this time. I won't give you a long-winded one this week because last week was pretty long-winded, and I know that, and I don't feel like talking a lot right now because I'm pretty tired. Luckily, this week was a deload week, and I needed it desperately because I had to do quite a bit of work on my truck. It's actually not quite a bit of work on my truck, and it unfortunately and a little embarrassingly took almost all week for me to complete the job, between not having all the parts I needed and or just doing the wrong steps in the wrong order. Forced me to have to work on it pretty much all Sunday, and then Monday and Tuesday I did go to the gym, and then Wednesday I worked on it at night. Thursday, I actually had to undo what I did Wednesday night at lunch Thursday, but then I finished everything I wanted to finish, and then finally got everything done Thursday after work, so truck's totally back to working order, which is very much exciting. Like I said, it wasn't a tough job. All I was doing was replacing the brakes on the rear, replacing the axle seals on the rear, and replacing the drums, which is part of the brake job, honestly. It wasn't even a hard job. Honestly, it shouldn't have taken me that long. It was just wrong tools. People that worked on the vehicle before had put some things in motion that definitely added a challenge to the job. You don't need to put an adhesive on seals, just putting that out there. And if you put a diff cover on your diff, just buy a regular gasket. They're less than $10. The one I bought was $4, and it works a hell of a lot better than that cheap gasket maker stuff. You can use that stuff with a regular gasket, but don't just use it instead of. Buy a fucking gasket. They sell them. I bought an entire kit for the entire engine of my Mustang. Every single gasket for every single piece that needed a gasket in that engine. And it was a decent brand too, which brands don't even matter with gaskets, but it was on sale. I think I got Edelbrock. And the entire set for the entire engine of a 1987 Mustang 5.0 high output cost me like $60. And there's like 100 gaskets in there. Alright, it's not that many. It really probably works out to about $2 a gasket. Like, I don't understand it. It doesn't make sense to me why people try to skirt things. I mean, I guess it's what you have at the time, maybe, but I mean, you know what you're getting into when you're replacing seals. I'm rambling. I'm sorry. People don't give a shit. You care about my lifting. Like I said, it was a deload week. Squats went pretty damn good. Not a lot of pain during it. And then pressing on Tuesday, I think I ended up doing 140 for my singles. That went great. I mean, the weight just flew right up. It was exactly how I wanted it to feel. It felt a little heavy in the hands, but the second it pressed, I mean, it just shot right up. I am looking to get near 180 for my strict next Tuesday. We'll see how everything goes, assuming the stars align just perfectly. It is what it is. But 180 is what I'm shooting for. I believe I got 170 last go round, so if I can get 180, you know, it's going to be tough picking my weights. That's going to be the tough part for me. I know I want to open with a working weight around 160, because I know I can do that for 3, and then I want to run around with definitely 175. I got to get that number just to feel better about myself, and then if I can get 180 on a strict, I'll be really happy with that. And then I'll see what I can do with my push presses too. And I may even max out on log, I don't know. But deadlifts went good today too. Watch my weekly video, my 2 update coming out on Wednesday, so you can see how that deadlift looked. I felt awful today, but I went up to 305 beltless and everything felt fine. Angry at myself because I was actually in the proper position at one point. You can see this in the video. It was exactly how I wanted to be. And then I was like, ooh, that doesn't feel right in my head, and repositioned, and then I ended up just a little bit, it was like minuscule out of position. But it still flew up, the weight felt fine. What didn't feel fine was my back. And my forearms, I have completely forgotten. I used to work as a mechanic for a little bit, and when I was younger, when I say younger, I mean like super young, I used to work in shops and stuff with my family, and I had forgotten how much stress that kind of work will put on your back and your forearms specifically, because my forearms just feel destroyed. I mean, they haven't felt this sore in quite a long time. Luckily, it didn't affect me too much on deadlifts tonight. We'll see how it affects me tomorrow as I do my other back accessory movements that I skipped tonight, because, like I said, my back is just feeling awful. But it's like a sore pain. It's not the same pain I have, which is basically just a very mildly concentrated, and then it kind of shoots down my IT band on my left leg, which is getting better over time. And I feel like as long as I just keep moving and improving my movements, everything will just work out there. One exciting announcement, there was a competition that happened last year, and it's a level 1 comp that I wanted to do this year, and it's called the Summer Scorcher. It happens down in South Florida. I want to say West Palm. And yeah, that's south. And I knew I wanted to do it this year, and I knew it would be sometime in August. Turns out it's actually going to be in September, and it's actually going to be September 21st. I am going to be competing in it. I couldn't get my entry in this week. I wanted to, but between buying all the stuff for the truck, it being right around the 1st, so my mortgage is due, all my other bills are due, I'm at a point right now where I'm like, I don't have money. I don't even have the $65 to spend on that this go round, but come my next check, which is next Friday, I'll be purchasing my entry, and I will be competing in the 200-pound class. As I stand literally right now, this morning I weighed myself, and I was 208.8, I think, pounds. So I've got effectively 5 months to lose 8 pounds. I will probably more than likely be actually competing as a 200-pound man, not just weighing in at 200 pounds, which is probably a breath of fresh air, if I'm being honest. A lot of the people, you need to understand, if you're in a weighted open class, 9 times out of 10, just because that's what they weighed in at, does not mean that's what they're competing at. A lot of people will cut 10 or more pounds just before the weigh-in and then put that weight back on. So a 200-pound guy who weighing in at 200 pounds might actually be competing around 215. I've even heard some stories about guys weighing almost 225 to 230. I can't imagine putting 30 pounds on in one day, but I've heard stories. Anecdotal, I know. But I'll actually be competing at 200 pounds because I've only got a few pounds to cut, really. I mean, fucking 5 months for 8 pounds is nothing. That's a joke. Like, I could do a pound a month and just not drink for 2 days and I would make it, which I honestly might just do that. But I've been progressively losing weight anyway because I feel stronger around 200 pounds anyway. 210 I feel just a little too bloated. 220 I feel heavy. I feel a little stronger at 220, but I feel heavy. So I'm going to actually work my way down to the 200s, and I'll weigh in at 200s, and I'll be actually competing probably around 200, maybe 205. You never know what happens the night of. Body does all kinds of sorts of weird things, but I'm super excited about the events. There are no events there that scare the shit out of me, and all the weights seem very manageable, even to where I'm at this point. My overhead definitely needs to come up. The one event there is a clean and press with the axle for reps. It's a press away event, so I'll only have to clean the axle once and then press it away for reps. It's 230 pounds, which the most I've even ever axle cleaned. I think I've cleaned 190, and I don't think I ever pressed it. Maybe I did press it, I can't remember, but it'll be something I'm working towards for sure. And then the only other event that actually does kind of get me a little nervous is they have a squat event with the yoke. It's going to be a yoke squat event. I don't know what the height's going to be, but it starts from the bottom, and that can be a little challenging for me in my head right now, because I know the bottom of the squat is where if I get just out of position, I'll tend to feel pain. So we're going to have to practice that movement, but I'm going to wait till basically the 10 weeks leading up to the comp to start practicing that particular movement pattern. And it's only 350 pounds, so I mean, I know I'm more than capable of doing that at least once. Then they've got a frame deadlift, which is going to be set at 18 inches, so it's a partial deadlift for me. The opening there is, I think, 450 or 500 for the 200s. I can't remember exactly. I believe it's 500. By that time, I know I'll be back, so I should be able to get at least that opening weight with it, so I'll get points there, which is fine by me. I want to go in, and my only goal is just not zero anything. And then, what's the actual event that I'm super excited for is they have a Husafell style natural stone pick and carry, and I like the way they have it set up, where basically, if you can just get the thing off the ground, it's 1 point. If you can lap it, it's 2. If you get it on your chest, it's 3. And then if you can actually walk with it, then you get distance. I'm really good at those kinds of events. I've always been pretty good about breaking stones from the ground. So, like, generally if I miss a stone, it's not because I couldn't pick it. It's usually because I couldn't swat it up. So it'll be exciting to work with that and do that event. I'm actually very excited about that event. I feel like there's one more. Oh yeah, there's like a Zercher carry on the yoke into a chain drag is the other event. I don't really worry about that. I mean, Zerchers, I'm basically going to start practicing Zercher squats as an accessory movement to my regular squats, just to build up that forearm strength. And I don't remember what the weight is on that, but I'm not worried because at my gym, both the yoke and our axle bar are 2-inch, and most yokes are around 2.5 to 3-inch, so it shouldn't be that big of a deal for me. But I'll do another video probably talking a little bit more about that and my plans for that and my programming going into, because I'm coming up on next week's my 10th week, and then we'll see what I'm doing then. And I'm basically going to work from the comp backwards, and everything should hopefully work out well. So look forward to that. And so much for a short video, huh? My apologies. I'm not really sorry. Look forward to that. Appreciate you watching. If you don't look forward to it, then what's your excuse?